We got another interesting development in the Ghost of Tsushima story. As you know, yesterday I pointed out how the voice actress for the main character looks like this. And they chose not to cast her. Everyone knows why, but now another development came out. Apparently, this actress was interested. And for those of you who don't know who she is playing in The Boys. And she's doing a pretty good job, especially for playing a character that doesn't really speak. You have to rely a lot on body language, and she does manage to convey a lot of emotion to the audience. And, her story is really interesting, and she manages to project a lot of vulnerability, a lot of femininity, literally the type of thing that AAA companies don't want. And so they rejected her. They rejected her, saying that she doesn't have enough acting experience. Like, what the fuck are you casting? You're making a video game. What are you casting? Who has enough acting experience? Oh, of course, the activist, right? Is it too much to suspect that the only reason these people get hired is because of ideological nepotism at this point? Like, let's be honest, if we were to actually make a poll, and this is something that they can do, right? Like, you do have the technology, since everyone has to make a Ubisoft account now. They could actually run a poll and say, like, which one of these three ladies would you have suggested to play the game? What do you think people would vote? The thing that I find absolutely interesting is that no matter how much they pushed woke ideology, which, by the way, in 2020 was absolutely everywhere, had like complete dominion. You could get fired if you didn't toe the line. You know, you made a joke, you made a little mistake online, your job, your life ruined, over. And everywhere you looked, video games, football, hell, even like if you wanted to buy a Gucci purse, you would be bombarded with woke ideology. It was everywhere. And despite all that, people are rejecting it. Like, on my main channel, I talked about a journalist from the New York Times that felt moral superiority because he was like the woke clergy. And so he started ostracizing people. Like, if you're not woke, he would cut you off from their life. And eventually they realized that by ostracizing everyone, they ostracized themselves. Like, the ostracizer would suffer more than the ostracizee. Why? Because, like, no one was putting up with this shit. And so it goes to show that this level of cultural authoritarianism, it works short term. But now they created an entire generation that has nothing but disgust and disdain towards the ideology. And so I don't think that Ghost of Tsushima will sell. And I will tell you, like, the first sin that they did, which is, like, obviously, you know, casting the main character in a way that's more close to non-binary, that's more close to androgyny, that's more close to the girl boss. Doing that is just a symptom. You know, like, the game could still perform well regardless. I mean, at the end of the day, you can have a stick figure, right? You have a stick figure as a main character and the game can still be good. This is just a symptom, like it's a reveal. But the first sin that they did, in my opinion, is the fact that they chose not to continue Jin's story, the protagonist from the first game. A lot of people not only loved that story, but that story ended with a little cliffhanger, right? Like, if you choose one of the endings where he chooses not to kill his family member, you find out that he is hunted now. He's hunted by the entire Japan, and he's like finding recluse and is going to continue training people against the Mongols. And it's like interesting, like that was a story that I would have liked to hear something from. But instead, like, they're obsessed. It's like, no, you need a strong woman. And they did that with so many franchises, right? It's like, no one is upset if you have like a female character, because we saw Stellar Blade, right? Like, massive popular success, of course. But like, what's wrong with having a franchise that with men? Like, for instance, you had Uncharted. And in the latest version of Uncharted, the latest one that came up, you get to play with 2 women. And if you finish the last Uncharted, you find out that Drake retires And in exchange, now he has a daughter with probably that's going to have small tits and a muscular jawline by the time that the next game comes out, right? And this is like a trend. A trend. Even indie games like Hades, they go woke, boom. Female protagonist, strong, independent woman. And all of the women are strong and independent. Like you don't have any wholesome, sensual, vulnerable female character. No, all of them have to be strong, independent, literally like the cookie cutter model. The same behavioral pattern. Arrogant, aggressive, oozing with toxic masculinity, lecturing the audience, superior mentality towards everyone else, dominating people, and usually a self-insert from an HR hag. It's quite sad. Like, you can't make art like this, you know? Every single video game feels the same. Captain Marvel is everywhere. And she doesn't smile. Do you know that turd-fligging monkey, a fellow content creator, like, he got banned from Twitter because he photoshopped a smile on Captain Marvel. I'm not kidding. Like, that goes to show just how entrenched the ideology was. Like, what he did was blasphemy. And yet, despite all that, the ideology still didn't work, right? It shows up that sometimes if you don't convince people, if you act like pricks, if you think that, oh, I got the universal morality, my way or the highway. If you don't like the stuff that I like, if you don't like the trivial shit that I like, it's not that you're different or you have different hobbies. No, you're an evil person. You're a disturbing individual. You need to be ostracized. You need to get fired. Seriously, like they harass VTubers over a fucking video game. They care about women. They care about feminism, but they harass VTubers because they chose to play a video game. It's like, how fucked up in the head is that? You know, how can you convince yourself that you're good people when you pull shit like that? Yeah, all in all, I don't think this game will sell. I wonder, like, how many video games like this can the AAA industry still produce, right? Because, like, if they keep investing a lot of money, if they keep managing to pump in hundreds of millions, and they constantly end up flops after flops after flops, eventually they will have to change tactics. My advice, and I don't know if they're going to listen, instead of making, like, a big AAA game, just make, like, 10 or 15 smaller AA games. Just cut your teams into size, have like smaller teams. The problem is, like, they can't do that. They can't do that because they're obsessed with micromanaging. Like, they're obsessed with the middle management. They're obsessed with their HR and their performance metrics and shit. And so, like, having like smaller teams would mean that they would have to bloat their industry with even more middle management. And so that's why, you know, like their entire business model is like one massive game. And unfortunately, I don't think that's what the market wants now. You're going to get more Stellar Blades. You're going to get more Wukongs. That's not necessarily a bad thing. Let me know what you guys think. And as usual, I will see you on my live stream. Take care.